My heart goes out to Clayton so much because I relate to Clayton in so many ways.
How have you guys been watching this season regularly? Do you tune in and out? Or how do you feel about Clayton as a lead overall? Where are we temperature check wise?
Well, we do recaps weekly. So we are very familiar with Clayton, and I'm enjoying the show so far. I'm not going to lie. I was very hesitated at first, and I think he's doing a phenomenal job. And I'm excited so far.
Yes. Well, obviously we're caught up. I just actually finished catching up on the last episode this morning. But here's my take. So my heart goes out to Clayton so much because I relate to Clayton in so many ways. And I look at his season and I'm seeing so many, it's almost a little bit of PTSD for me, like being pulled back into it. Cause I'm just like, I've been in that exact situation. I've been told something so similar to that. I've had to make a decision very similar to that under that kind of pressure. And I was actually talking to a producer the other day, and she was agreeing with me like 100% on. She's like, she actually said it too. She's like, yeah, I feel like a lot of the same similarities from your season are in this one with Clayton. So my heart goes out to him, and it's tough. It kind of felt like with we were talking like with Matt's season. It wasn't, the drama didn't necessarily involve him as much. He wasn't kind of sucked into it as much. There was still drama, but it was maybe more around like the women. This is like, it's Clayton and my season are a little bit more where we kept getting dragged into it. And it's a very uncomfortable kind of situation. And it's not easy to make the right decision all the time. And when you're not privy to all this information. So that's why I'm trying to defend Clayton as much as I can with certain situations.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad you offered that up because Peter, I mean, it's hard to deny that Bachelor Nation on social media making a lot of comparisons between Clayton and Peter.
Oh man, I know. It's I have seen lots of those, but listen, what people just, again, you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth here. I've been in his shoes. There is so much that goes on that you're not seeing, unfortunately. You know, again, I don't know any of the backstory with Clayton behind the scenes with his season. I haven't talked to any people from his season on, you know, what's going on like that. But you can see it too. You can see like the manipulation that's going on, and you can see how, you know, certain people are being pushed forward on the show, and it's kind of making Clayton look bad. It just is. And that part sucks to see because, you know, I feel like that happened on mine too. And that's not necessarily Clayton's fault. He's, you know, if there's someone in there that's getting a lot of time that everyone's looking at like, how is he not seeing this? And why is he making this decision? Why is he keeping her around? Well, if she's there for, you know, 20 minutes and doing a whole montage, a makeout scene, like producers are making that happen or allowing that to happen. And it sucks to see kind of in hindsight how that all plays out and turns out. And then people make these judgments on you and they're like, well, this guy's an idiot, or why isn't he seeing that? And it's tough. It's kind of, you don't realize what you're signing up for, but it's just kind of, it comes with the territory.
Yeah. Shanae, let's start with her. 2-on-1. Shanae. She's been something. And I know I always try to say and remember, you know, it's an edited show, but she is kind of confusing me because I feel like she's saying these like full sentences that don't seem to be chopped up. We're watching her say them and admitting to just acting and, you know, forcing tears. And It's confusing to me as a viewer because I thought we were supposed to suspend any sort of fakeness. And I feel like she's a little bit different than traditional quote unquote villains in the fact that she wanted to be, but maybe I'm getting played. I don't know. What do you think about Shanae overall as how she's been on the show?
I don't get it. I do not get Shanae. It's true. I don't feel like sure, the power of editing is very powerful, and you can Frankenbite things and you can make people sound like they're maybe acting a little crazier than they really are. But you're right. It doesn't seem like it's so consistent. So many different, you know, scenes or different locations. And it's like that same behavior is kind of going on. It's like she just has bought into it, I guess. And I don't think I've ever, from my memory, I don't think I've ever seen someone on the show that, you know, quote unquote villain has bought into it. And it seems like they enjoy it, you know, so much. I remember like we, with Dustin and I, when we were on Hannah season, you know, a lot of people thought Luke was like a paid actor. Like they kept thinking, oh, he's a paid actor there. And I don't know if I ever necessarily bought that, but it's like I would almost believe it with Shanae if that's what she was doing, because it just seems so over the top and like egregious. I'm like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah. You bring up Luke P. Which makes me think, because the women's reaction also says a lot. I think overall, always on the show, the contestants, how they react when something happens. If they're sad when someone goes home, you're like, oh, that probably was like a nice girl. They bonded. If they're literally cheering and double fisting champagne and saying comments like, oh, our guy has a good picker, we can trust him now. Like, that says a lot about her, no?
It's honestly, that was hard to like watch. Like this sounds bad, but my heart almost goes out to like Shanae having to watch that. Granted, she probably did this to herself, you know, if
she
it
did
wasn't too much editing.
She did do this to herself.
Listen, but I say that truly, like I give everyone the benefit of the doubt because we don't know the full story. You've been on the show, you know.
She was just saying tears. I'm trying to get these tears out. Like, come on. I don't buy that at all.
You're right. I guess,
she knows what she was buying into. I don't feel sorry for her. She's gonna be A-okay. She bought into the villain, and she's the villain, and she's gonna get looked at. Yeah.
If you had to predict, they love a villain on Paradise, obviously. But there was a lot of people tweeting last night. Mike Fleiss even responded to one of someone like wanting to boycott if Shanae goes on Paradise, which no one's boycotting anything. But people maybe kind of over it, don't want to see her. If you were her, would you ever want to even open yourself up to that? And do you think she should, we should see her again? Just throwing that out there.
She's made for TV. Yes, she needs to go on all the other shows. She's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. She was very entertaining. I actually loved watching her because
I hate to admit, because I truly Dustin and I talk about this all the time. I watch a show for the love. I want to see that story, and it's only like one or two relationships that maybe you get a season that you get to really fall for. But I will say, once Shanae left in this most recent episode, it kind of it didn't feel the same. So I have to admit, I get why, producers do that and why villains are necessary for her, for Paradise. Listen, I can't speak for her. I don't know her, but you would think if she's going to do it, you got to go on and try to get some type of redemption arc, try to show maybe who you really are. I find it hard to believe that that's how she really is in real life, 24/7. It seems a little over the top.
You're a nice guy, Peter.
I know he's a little nice.
I want to give her the benefit of the doubt because that's just crazy. Well, I don't know what happens. Obviously, no one does. But this is my prediction. My prediction is, and I hate to say this, that he ends up with no one, and that it was supposed to be Rachel, but
she loses it after
she finds out.
Both of you.
Yes, she loses it, and then I who knows if they all walk away or how it ends, or maybe he walks away because it was mainly Rachel, but I'm hoping that's not the case. But that's how I kind of think it ends, and then I could see either Susie or Gabby being the Bachelor. I feel like whenever we've seen Susie on screen, the way she just commands the conversation, it's she's the Bachelorette and Clayton's kind of the contestant. Yeah. I haven't seen that with any other of the ladies, so she could be a good one.